Hello everyone, it's Alex of Coyote Star Astrology and welcome back to my channel. This is my new moon in Aries video for the new moon in Aries on April 11th, 2021 here on Pacific Standard Time, which is a Sunday. However, please do adjust for your current location on planet Earth as that time and date may change. Very interesting new moon to go through, and I'm actually filming this video on the 9th at about 9 p.m. And the moon is in the last couple degrees of Pisces, conjunct Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. And I am so like out of body and dreamy. It's really kind of the opposite of Aries energy I'm feeling right now. So I'm going to do my best to channel Aries vibes because that's what this new moon is all about. We have a new moon at 22 degrees Aries, and of course, a new moon is a new cycle and a new beginning. Great time to set new intentions and also come into a new understanding around something. So, we have a lot of Aries energy now. We have Mercury in Aries, we have Venus in Aries, and of course, our new moon. So, lots to consider about ourselves at the moment. That's really sort of what this whole month is about. Now, of course, uh, the archetype of Aries is part of the cardinal cross, which is Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. So, this is thinking about ourselves, but also how the self is reflected through that cardinal cross of the self reflected through family members, the self reflected through our partners, Libra, and also our career and our experience trying to build a legacy and have an offering, right, to other people. So, really, the focus is on building the character that's going to take part in all of that. And all of the reflections that we're receiving right now, it's sort of like walking through a hall of mirrors and really having to take a look at ourselves and what we're projecting out there externally into the universe, and really having to look on the inside at what's going on with us. um, but we have all of this fiery energy, so it is about initiating things. Venus has us thinking about what's best for us. Mercury has us just really thinking about what we want moving forward and going about that very instinctually. Uh, Aries season is an amazing time to start something new and sort of like harness that fire energy to get up and go and just do something that may have felt like nearly impossible in Pisces because there might have been some lethargy. So, new workout routines. I started a new workout routine, or I sort of modified my old routine because it was getting boring and I was finding myself not really feeling like, getting on my mat and doing yoga because it had just become repetitive. I've been doing the same yoga routine every morning for I don't know how many years. So, using this Aries energy to spice it up, I got some weights, I got some resistance bands, and adding some strength and some spice to my routine to sort of wake myself up and get excited about doing it. It's also a great season to start a new nutrition plan. Anything involving the physical body, the physical form, the body temple is ruled by Aries. So, yeah, this is really looking at what's best for us and how we're showing up. For me, Aries is really about embodiment and really being strong in the self. Because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's like the character that we are playing for the entire journey, for the whole fool's journey. So it starts in Aries. We decide who we are and what the desire is. And then the rest of the year and the rest of the zodiac is about acting from that place, those seeds coming to fruition. Now, the ruler of Aries is Mars, and Mars is currently in Gemini, which is about options and experimentation and fluidity. And there is one aspect in this chart during this new moon that is a little bit problematic, and that is that the ruler of the chart, Mars, is being squared by Neptune in Pisces. Pisces Gemini squares are really challenging and confusing because Gemini is, kind of all over the place as it is. And when it's being squared, when it's being put into a tense conversation with Pisces, which is also very fluid, the result is confusion, right? And at its worst, it can be deception. So, because Neptune is consciousness itself, higher consciousness, but also the subconscious, right? And because Mars is our drive, it looks like there may be something in our subconscious or our consciousness that is either subtly at odds with where we're trying to go or where we think we would like to go, or something that is not clear or potentially not real, right? Because when we have squares to Pisces, we might be dealing with something that's just a fantasy or an illusion. So, what I'm seeing in this chart, almost more than anything else, is this extreme desire to initiate, especially because, Saturn is trining the North Node, which is really pushing us to evolve, really pushing us to grow and move forward and let the past, the South Node gate, sort of like disappear into the distance in their rearview mirror. It's like we have got to shut the door on certain things, certain beliefs, certain people, certain places. It's time to go. The train is leaving. We've got Jupiter in trine to Mars as well. And then all the fire of Aries saying, get up and go and do it and be brave about it and be confident. But then we've got the square from Neptune hitting Mars. So to me, it looks like an arrow. Mars looks like an arrow that is piercing and cutting through this smoke and mirrors energy of Neptune. And whenever we have Neptune fogging the glass, we want to get as clear and sober with ourselves as we possibly can. And because it's a new moon in Aries, which is about the self and the character and the personality and the ego, to me, this comes down to embodiment. So, what is embodiment? This is something that I think about a lot because when I look around my reality at all of the different people that I know, to me, the most attractive thing possible is a person who is fully embodied, meaning they know who they are. They're not trying to be anything else. And it's unmistakable when you see it, and it's rare. Because it takes a lot of courage and it takes a person who's done a lot of self-work. Of course, there are those very special individuals that just kind of come in like that. But then there's other people that have to go on a bit of a journey to come into their authentic self-expression or their embodiment, right? And it's so attractive. And by that, yes, physically, but on an energetic level, when someone is embodied in themselves authentically, you can feel it because it's real and it's true and it's honest and it's interesting and it's magnetic. And it makes you crave them in a way. It makes you crave wanting to be in their presence because they inspire you to do the same for yourself, right? But again, it's very rare. And it's unfortunate because when we're not embodied, we can begin unconsciously and sometimes consciously copycatting or parroting the identity traits of others because we haven't fully come into union with our own identity. Or maybe there's parts of us that we don't particularly like. And that's really like the root of envy or the root of jealousy, right? Is there's another person that embodies something that you want or you feel like you don't have. And so there's an envy response to that, right? And because this new moon in Aries, which is about the self, is in square to Pluto, Pluto may be mirroring the shadow self to some of us out there, and also encouraging us to transform, to meet these growth energies. So full embodiment to me is the ability to coax and call out that authentic expression through speech, through intention, through career, and really also very much through personal adornment, which Aries is all about. Personal adornment is incredibly important. It's one of the like most profound ways that humans have to express themselves, right? In the colors that they like to wear, or the jewelry that they're attracted to, the way that they wear their hair, or piercing, whatever. No piercings. It's you, whatever it is. And that's one of the things I love so much about humans is every person has their unique soul imprint, and there are those that are fully embodying their unique imprint, and it's so inspiring. And then they're the ones that are still figuring it out and still, searching for it, or they're really suffering from confidence issues and they've shut that part of themselves down. So it's almost uh like the soul is a little bit wilted. It's not that like feeling of arrival, that courage, that confidence of Aries. So Aries season is really about figuring out how to arrive to the life that you want to live, because there's a million different experiences out there and there's really not, unfortunately, enough time to be everybody and do everything in this one lifetime. So it's like you got to pick your avatar, you pick your character for the story here, and what are the steps we need to make to fully embody and maximize on that experience. So coming back to cutting through the fog of Neptune, and whatever Neptune is representing, that confusing element, I mean, this definitely can manifest as just weird events, misunderstandings, delusions, or sort of out there behavior from other people. But it can also just be like confusion about the course or why things are going a certain way, or it can definitely just hinder our confidence about where we're going. So with that Pluto element hitting this new moon so strongly, I think that this is about transforming the aspects of the self that aren't fully confident in this new growth, doing a little shadow work around the self, and using this new moon portal with the ability to have such a powerful moment for new intentions to take Saturn's advice and really let certain things go. Things that you have outgrown, let them go. Because And I did a post about this on my Instagram. I'm going to link you guys to my Instagram now. Since we're talking about it, I'm on Instagram as Earth to Coyote. And I do a lot of astrology in my Instagram stories, but I do posts too. I just did a post on America's Pluto return. So let's talk about that briefly, shall we? I will, of course, do probably a whole video just for this later this year as it gets a bit closer. But America is going through her Pluto return. And these energies, we're already in them. I mean, these energies really started to come in 2019, but we haven't really seen anything yet because the energies of that transit will really climax next year, 2022. The Pluto return for America is sort of a death, rebirth, dark night of the soul moment for the entire nation and all of the people in it and the governments and systems that operate within it. And of course, this has implications for the rest of the world as well, as the governments and systems around the world are very much connected to what's happening with America. Pluto tends to reveal things, it drags the skeletons out of the closet, right? And Pluto transits are brutal because the nature and function of Pluto is to destroy anything that is toxic. And it does so through very intense karmic experiences and situations that can literally bring you to your knees. Pluto is really brutal. Pluto will burn your house down to teach you a lesson. Pluto will take a loved one. I mean, Pluto is intense, right? And we are walking towards this transit for the United States of America where America is settling these karmic checks and balances. What is toxic is being brought up to the surface to be seen and to fall away. And a Pluto return for a nation, America has never had one before, is sort of like gonna determine if she sees another one. Some empires do fall shortly after a Pluto return, and that process gets set in motion during a Pluto return. Or certain elements of that empire fall away, and the nation goes through a transformation process that sets them up for the next 248-year cycle. So we're all on this really crazy ride, and how this relates to Aries and our North Node energies is that we really need to be strong in our sense of self at this time. And we're all being directed to where we need to be and the choices that we individually need to make for the energies of next year. I strongly intuitively feel that. I mean, obviously, I can see the chart and I know what's coming on some level, but then there's also the intuitive part, which is telling me, I don't want to say it's every man for himself right now, but it is kind of, in the sense that, like, yes, community is important, very, very important, but because we are still settling out that first decan of Aquarius, where actually there's usually like a fragmenting and an alienation of community, and we're still sort of in that weird time where like new community hasn't really been found, or those, so many friendships really like split apart. So many people are headed in an entirely new direction in their life. And it's like, this is about you right now and making the decisions you need to make to get to where you need to be in your mind, in your body, in your soul. It's going to look different for everybody. So that during the intensity of next year, we're solid. And we've attracted the connections that we needed to attract. Everybody's in their places, if you know what I mean. And, macro, micro, as America goes through her transformation, we are all going through it as well. And this really requires that we can be humble enough to look at our own identity and our own role in the dynamics that are taking place, which is the really beautiful magic of Aries when it has aspects from Pluto, which is transformation of the self, always in the direction of personal evolution and improvement. What do I need to do to become fully embodied and strong in who I am? Because there's only one chance to be this self. There's only one chance. It's this lifetime. That's it. There's going to be other lifetimes, of course, but not as you. So, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to shed to be that person, to embrace that reality? And what are the steps I can take to bravely and courageously embody this beautiful new self? I'm wishing you guys all the strength and love in the world through these changes. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to reach out to me for a reading, my website is coyotestarastrology.com. And like I said before, Instagram, Earth2Coyote. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, happy new moon and bye for now.